What's up, welcome to the Victory Point Podcast, episode 50. My name is Alex Martinet. Uh, Episode 50, this is a big milestone. Thank you for supporting us. We're going to talk about The Walking Dead Season 3, Spoilercast. If you haven't, we're going to do a little quick 5-minute summary, 10-minute summary. So if you like it or want to get a brief little glimpse of it, and then we'll do a spoilercast of it. But of course, joining me is Andrew.
Yo, Alex, it's your boy Andrew celebrating the 50th episode of Point Taken Podcast. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for all of your latest entertainment news.
I should have said Jim Harbaugh because he has no hair also.
You're talking to a media influencer, Andrew Esposito. It's good to see you today. How's everybody doing? Tyler, are you there? I repeat,
what's up, Alex?
This is not even respond to Andrew because he's trying to be a influencer that's 5 years too late. Right? I mean, that's just him, right?
I'm here. I got the SnapTap spectacles. All the cool kids are using these things. Take 10-second snaps. I click this button. I'm recording. It's like recordception right now. Snapception. I'm recording us recording. This is the quality content you come to vpdaily.com for. Make sure you subscribe.
So, Alex, what are we talking about on the show today?
You guys been playing Tekken 7. That kind of is the last fighting game before E3, before the big fighting game paradise. Or there's been a lot of great fighting games coming out in 2017. I've been playing a lot of Injustice. I've been seeing a lot of good.
Sorry to interrupt. Did you guys start the show yet?
Yeah.
Did you guys start the show?
Andrew.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me, Alex. Always a big fan. Thanks for having me. Celebrate. What is this? Episode 50, isn't it?
Andrew.
Nice. Good to be here. How you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, we are already off the walls on this. You guys,
Tekken 7.
You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
I'm like.
The joke was that the person with the Snapchat glasses and the hat was not the same Andrew.
Okay. Yeah. Anyways, Andrew,
real good joke. You know, really knocked it out of the park there, Andrew. Really killed it. Like you killed the episode.
Thanks, Tyler.
Okay.
I'm glad.
Okay. How is Tekken 7, guys?
I like it. It's the first Tekken game in a long time. I mean, the game came out about 1.5 years, 2 years ago out in the arcades. So this one's finally coming to consoles. Faded Retribution, I think the subtitle is. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, the Tekken lore is really, really crazy stuff. So it was fun to go through the story mode and remember some of it and completely forget the majority of it.
You know, and you get to get reintroduced to everybody's favorite Tekken character, Akuma.
Mokujin. Oh, wait, what? Yeah, Akuma from Street Fighter fame is in Tekken 7.
I mean, does the lore really even matter compared to comparing the lore? I mean, the lore really does matter for Mortal Kombat. I mean, people actually do follow what goes on in Mortal Kombat.
The Tekken lore is very deep.
It's amazing. So let me give you a background. When he was young, Heihachi threw Kazuma into a volcano. Then Kazuma grows up and throws Heihachi into a volcano. Yeah, that's about it. And then there's a bear and
there's his son, and then everybody's their dad.
Somebody's a devil,
which I really like. I'm really into killing fathers, so I can really relate personally with the story, man.
Did Tekken 6 have a character customization as all? Because I see a lot of great praise surrounding what Tekken 7 is doing with.
Not to this extent. So one of the big things is character customization in this game, and it can actually change your moves. You actually get a few special moves from it. So if you equip a gun, you actually have a gun that you can occasionally fire during battle. And I just have
Yeah.
everybody wearing Bullet Club T-shirts because they have a New Japan Pro Wrestling officially
Who's your
branded
main?
merchandise. I'm a jeez, I never know how to say his name. It's like Horrang.
Oh yeah,
Horrang.
Horror. I got you.
Yeah, I use him. He's real like badass in this one because for some reason now his hair's black with an orange stripe, and now he has an eye patch for some reason.
Are you sure that's not a horror or I'm checking?
And then I'm a big King guy. Big King guy. Been playing King since '95, Tekken 1. Love him, really bad with him, but just love him. There's just something about him that I really like. So, yeah, and like Tyler said, huge character customization, and the character customization actually impacts not the way you play, but it impacts the abilities that you have. And
did you finish the story mode, Andrew?
I did finish the story mode, and it goes places.
Yeah, it was interesting, like how far they went to make Akuma like fit into the greater Tekken lore, to a hilarious extent.
And it's very interesting too because for those that don't know, Namco and Capcom partnered years ago to make a Street Fighter Cross Tekken game and a Tekken Cross Street Fighter game. Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out. You can play that game, but Tekken vs Street Fighter never came out, and apparently is not even in development. So one of the basically reservations, I guess, was we get Akuma in Tekken, and it makes me want a Tekken vs Street Fighter. Akuma plays pretty cool. I mean, he's pretty cool, and he fits.
They've managed to fit like the specials, and projectiles aren't overpowered in Tekken because of the sidestep, so it works really well in the game.
Now, is there a loot grinding system similar to Injustice? I don't know much about what Tekken 7 offers, so I'm just going to ask you.
No, yeah, absolutely. Not really a loot grinding system. You gain fight money or whatever they call it, their currency.
It is fight money. I like that. I like how fight money is now like the golden standard for fighting.
Yeah, so you gain fight money through a variety of things, and you get a lot of it. So no loot in a sense of like things that change your attack strength and things like that, but customizable stuff you can unlock, but no random drops or anything like that. There are treasure chests that you can open up in one of the modes.
Loot boxes.
Treasure battle, which is like the main single player mode. You basically just face off against a bunch of like customizable AI opponents, and you get a bunch of money and stuff. And one cool thing they have in the gallery is every single like arcade ending from the past games, from like Tekken 1 all the way to Tag Tournament 2. So you have like 8 different games worth of ending cutscenes and just ridiculous story stuff. And I've already purchased all of that. Very easy trophies too, by the way. If anyone wants to pick it up on a PlayStation, get a platinum. Took me probably about 10 hours to get the platinum. It's not very difficult.
Do you prefer? I get this is separate from Tekken, but do you prefer platinums to be easy, or do you want them to be somewhat rewarding?
I think that could have been a bit more rewarding, but I'll take that over like having to grind any day. Like
remember
Injustice 2.
Yeah.
Injustice 2 has some like ridiculous, like that's pretty easy overall. But there are like some grindy trophies, like get every character to level 20 and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can barely get any achievements for Injustice, and it seems like that'd be a game perfect for bronzes or even just medium trophies, or gold trophies.
Man, my gamer score was so high back in the day, but then there was like one time where it's just 3 a.m. and I'm like, gotta beat this last level of open season to get the full 1,000. Gotta beat this last level of open season, Tyler. And I was like, you know what? I'm done.
What were you doing?
Achievement things.
Yeah,
I was playing
open season.
Yeah, wait, that's not how you guys play. With you just like lighting up, playing the open season video game based off the movie. Gotta get this last level.
You might be sniffing some red rings right there, man.
Oh man, I sniffed at least 2. I had 2 Xbox 360s red ring on me when I had an Xbox 360.
I never had one issue with red rings, but I've had 2 issues with Xbox Ones. So
oh wow,
whatever luck that is.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's strange because they call it the all-in-one home entertainment system. It's shocking that you would need more than one.
Oh.
Hey, did you get a haircut, Tyler?
Me? Oh.
Yeah.
Looks good.
I got them all cut.
Alex, you always look good. You don't need a haircut. You're
you suck up.
Yeah, but Tekken, if you're a fighting game fan and you're really looking for something, I mean, Injustice 2 just came out, and Tekken 7's another really, really good fighting game. So, different type of game than Injustice, but definitely if you're a fan, highly recommend. Really, really cool stuff.
Yeah, I'd say if you don't really have a preference on how one plays, Injustice 2 probably has a little bit more meat to it.
Oh yeah.
I haven't really been playing Injustice 2 a bunch since like a couple weeks ago, but I do boot it up and watch the AI battle, and so I get loot crates.
Yeah.
So I'm really into the AI battle simulation. So I just keep doing that.
Judging by some of the Twitter reaction towards Injustice and Tekken, I think Tekken is going to be more towards the competitive crowd. And Injustice might be both crowds, but I think it might be more geared towards the more, normal audience, more casual audience. People like me who are going to play just for a couple of weeks and then stop. It has that depth to it, but I don't think if you're looking for, competitive depth, I think Tekken might be that game.
Yeah, and they add some new like systems with the gameplay. There's like a rage mode that you can do special attacks with now, and Injustice 2 didn't really change stuff up.
They still don't do a good job tutorializing you though. Like
they don't.
Yeah, teaching you how to do certain things and stuff like that, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of mechanics that go into Tekken to be decent at it.
But like Injustice's, environmental mechanics have to be like excluded from competitive gameplay. So like there's like certain things you have to like just completely change when you get to MLG. Which
they have a mode that turns off all of the stuff like that. So it's very interesting too because sorry to cut you off, but there's like the competitive market for both those games are very different. Sonic Fox has been rampaging through Injustice and Injustice 2 and even MKX, but Tekken 7 is definitely dominated by more Korean gamer base. They do very well in Evo, so it's interesting to see the where the balance is.
Yeah, but I think if anything, I think when the new Super Smash Brothers comes out, I think that one's going to have attributes, for the MLG crowd because, that was it Melee or was it N64 version? I think it was Melee.
Melee is the one everyone obsesses over.
Melee had a huge following at MLG, and
granted, when you consider how much like that game sells, its huge following equates to like 1 or 2% of the fan base.
I meant at MLG, not just But anyways, Tekken looks great. I'll probably, at least look at it on sale, but probably it's not for me since I'm more geared towards the comic book fighting, competitive.
Yeah,
games.
I think if you're more of like a casual person that's not gonna like dive into its systems, I think it's a perfect rental because you can get through this like story mode. The story mode's like 2-3 hours long. You can do whatever you want with the game. There's not like a ton of modes or depth.
Really cool thing though is there's a gallery mode that includes the videos from every Tekken game, and that's pretty cool.
Does it?
Yes, every Tekken game, so you can watch, and it's not very expensive too to unlock them all. I think it's like 300,000 fight money.
That's really interesting. It's almost like I talked about it earlier in the show, Andrew. Come on, listen up, boy.
I've done that before.
I think I did this like last time I was on here. So.
Don't worry about it. We're 50 episodes in and we start copying ourselves.
Yeah, but a really, really cool thing about Tekken that I like is that there's a gallery mode with every FMV, all of the Tekken games.
Although it is missing one FMV, it doesn't have Gon, which was the dinosaur from like Tekken 2, which is very sad.
Lame. But yeah, overall, really cool game. A great year for fighting games and stuff like that. So.
This isn't any like celebration of like 25th anniversary. This is just Tekken 7.
There was like a 20th. It did have an anniversary recently, but I think because it took like 3 years from coming from the arcade to being released here, it missed the proper date.
No Tekken XL. No Tekken.
But some of the artwork does have like a 20th anniversary branding to it.
Okay. All right. Sounds like a great fighter. But as the title says, this is a season 3 spoiler cast for The Walking Dead. we're going to give you about the first 5 minutes are going to be our general thoughts on season 3 of The Walking Dead. Telltale's The Walking Dead, not AMC's The Walking Dead.
And not Fear the Walking Dead.
But Andrew, what'd you think of season 3 of The Walking Dead?
Yeah, so I guess as our resident Telltale reviewer for the site, I feel like I've reviewed almost everything Telltale on the site. Overall, Walking Dead season 3 was okay. I mean, like, it wasn't incredible, and it wasn't as bad as Michonne, or even Batman. I think it might have even been better, a little bit better than the Batman series. So, I like some things about it, and I dislike some other things about it. But I'd like to hear your guys' overall thoughts, and then we can jump into the nitty gritty.
All right, I got a big thought here.
Oh,
excuse me. What was the thought again?
No. Okay, I don't think. I think Michonne wasn't as bad in hindsight because it took some chances, and even though it knew it couldn't really branch out too far from the comic books, and we knew that it wasn't going to take a lot of risks. I still find it kind of entertaining.
Yeah, that's fine.
But
yeah,
in terms of where my expectations were with Michonne, they were really low. But my expectations for season 3 of The Walking Dead. Introducing Clementine, and she's a little bit older and she can do a lot more stuff. But I wanted to play with, I wanted to use Clementine more. And that was my main issue with season 3.
Yeah,
so I think one of the issues is that we keep referring it to season 3, but it's officially called The Walking Dead: A New Frontier.
Yep.
And I think we will get a season 3, and it will be called season 3 because I think this is the redheaded stepchild that they just want to kind of push away after this, and because I don't want to spoil. We'll talk
no. This is Spoilercast. We put the warning. Hey, warning.
No. This is our first 5 or 10 minute talk, and then we'll get into the spoilers about the first 4 or 5 episodes.
Oh, okay. So we're not spoiling it.
So. But yeah, I think they're gonna throw that away. I don't think this is the 3rd season. I think they very consciously went, maybe this isn't quite up to the quality, and that's why they branded it that way and made it more of a. Because my big thing, my takeaway from finishing it was that this was a total side story.
Absolutely,
it really mattered, and it was a waste of my time.
I think
definitely a side story.
I think. Now is a great moment that if you are a listener and haven't finished episodes 4 through 5, I think scroll the next 30 minutes upward and you'll get the rest of the news. But that is a general sense where I didn't care a damn about this family. I didn't care about anything that was these characters at all. And for the most part, I've just felt it was a bridge, just like Tyler said. I just felt it was a bridge to actually getting to play or use Clementine.
So I think it's even worse if you do have if you did find some of the characters interesting, because I ended up liking Javier and David. I wanted my whole I know Andrew always talked about how he wanted to play the Telltale Batman game while keeping Two-Face from turning. That was his whole thing.
Yeah.
So my whole thing was I want to be bros with David. Once it turns out that he's alive, I did. I always kind of sided with him, and I wanted to be cool bros with him. And I don't know if he died in your guys' games, because I know he can die in the game. Did he die in any of yours?
He walked away from mine. Yeah, that's what happened with mine. What about you, Andrew?
I'm sorry. Are we talking about David from The Walking Dead?
Yeah. David from The Walking Dead.
His brother.
He, to my knowledge, he dies no matter what.
No. He's alive in my game. All right.
Oh, he can? Cool.
He lived in my game, which was nice because I sided with him constantly. But basically, he's mad at his son, and he just is giving everybody the silent treatment by the end. You don't get a single moment with him after all the shit goes down. You don't get that moment of okay, how are these characters changed for the better or for the worse after this? You just see him staring off to the distance because I guess they couldn't be asked to write like some dialogue for like when like 2% of players are gonna still have them alive at the end.
Yeah.
I did not get any finality there, and like, and same with like Javier's whole story, because for me it just ended with they were still in Richmond or whatever, and they were like, we're gonna rebuild, but we have no plan in place or anything.
Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. I need to let's throw the veil up. Let's throw the spoiler veil up. I want to talk about this.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Okay. So David lived in your game.
Yes.
Same with mine.
Did he come back to Richmond?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. That's cool. My David died.
And my David, he just walked away. He didn't come back.
Did you guys go to help Kate, or because
I went to help the town? Yeah,
I left the town. Fuck off. I rather died with David.
I let Kate die, so no.
Oh wow, okay. So
yes.
There's a lot of different variables over at the end of here.
So for my version, I went after Gabe because I actually liked Gabe a lot. But the difference between Kate, I just like what was her motivation at all? Like you have
to get laid?
Kate had like survivor guilt.
Like I have to make these hard choices, but like at the same time, like I didn't care about this town at all. Like, is this?
Yeah, same.
I didn't
care about Kate either.
My biggest problem came with they make David a very singular focused character throughout that series.
Yeah,
like he's the bad guy, or he's the guy that beat his wife, was mean to Kate. Yes, beat his wife, was mean to Kate, and all that stuff. And then at the end, they have that switch where they try to humanize him. And I'm like, okay, no, it didn't work for me. Although I kept saying, I love you, brother. I love you, brother. I did that too. And then Clementine hates David. She's like, don't trust David. He's a bad guy. Don't trust him.
She came around with it in her mind. She's like,
But exactly. But in this final episode, she goes, you know what? Maybe David's just trying to help. He's got a lot on his plate. Maybe he's not such a bad guy after all. I'm like, what? Make up your minds. I was like, you can leave with Gabe. Fuck both of you. Bye. I'm gonna go save this town like a badass that I am with my boo Kate.
So Andrew, we talked about this before, but like how lazy some of the writing was, like in particular with Kenny's death. Like if you had Kenny there, it was like such a fucking lame ass way to write him out of the script. But like they managed to top that in the final episode, because the person that lives from the end of episode 4, where you have to choose between Ava and Trip or whatever his name was.
Trip, yes, Trip.
So like whoever survives, for me it was Ava, and a zombie just kills her in like 2 seconds, and I totally missed it. It was like, what?
Yeah.
I mean, like they kind of foreshadowed it though, because like there's like one line. It's like, well, I'm in someone else's dead shoes. I'm like, well, that person's gonna die. That person's.
But like it made the whole like ending of episode 4 like completely moot. Like there was no reason for it. It was so lame. And,
I will say,
and it doesn't even make any sense, because I can get that if they were having like a great story or something, but like this seems like such a side story by the end, to where I don't think we'll be seeing these characters whenever Clementine's story continues. And like basically the whole like this whole season's arc, like Clementine like got some she had her period, and then she got a haircut. That's the entire season.
You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Walking Dead 400 Days. And in season 3... No.
But stretched out into a full season.
Yes, but in the way that the next season of Telltale, depending on how your season ends, they'll be briefly mentioned. Like the town of Richmond will be mentioned, and they'll be like, yeah, the town of Richmond, David's really Javier's really leading the town of Richmond, and they're prospering, or something small like that.
And let's remember how lame the 400 Days
awful
were in season 2.
Well, they're the minions of the bad guy in season 2.
And some of them don't even like get any lines. You just like see them, and they're just hanging there, and it's like, really,
it was awful. Again, now make it noted that it's tough to make, have meaningful choices play into a big effect of your story-based game with so many.
Maybe they should like drop the choice focus and like go down a different route with these stories.
But that's their bread and butter. That's what they sell you on these games.
Maybe
the only way you do that though.
I am not getting anything out of these games lately.
Yeah. I agree.
But the only way you do that, if you want to drop the choice focus, is if you go a $60 product and not make it episodic, and that's
or just tell a story, tell a story. Why do the choices need to matter?
A good story,
yeah. Why not just tell a good story that has QTEs and lets you make the decisions?
Man, like, see, New Frontier just felt like they were treading ground so often where, like, old topics from they had the guts scene again where I gotta cover myself with guts.
That was from season 2, yeah,
and it was in season 1 as well. It's been in every single season. They keep reusing that scene.
I will say,
seriously, guys,
Conrad made it to the end of my game. My boy Conrad made it, survived. Was there reading a book in Richmond at the end of the show. I was like, okay.
Yeah, but did Clementine trust you?
Yeah, she did. She did at the end.
Okay, because I heard she automatically trusts you if you killed old
yes,
Conrad.
she does automatically trust you.
Who was Conrad? Who was Conrad? Because honestly,
in the first episode, he's the one that takes Gabe hostage or Clementine hostage and said he's going to turn her in and you can shoot him if not. So yeah, he lived. Again, it was very convenient.
I shot Conrad.
At the end of episode 4, he goes, "You know what? I'm gonna sit this one out. You guys can go do your thing. I'm gonna go sit this one out." I was like, "Okay, Conrad, you sit out. I know it's too hard to program. I know it's too hard to program you into the finale in episode 5. So maybe I'll see you again in episode 5."
Oh man! And like some of the writing with the chick who the nurse who ends up betraying you, she was always mad at me because Trip died, but I tried to save him, so it made no sense.
That was real weird. I had the same thing. I tried to save Trip.
What did you think about the choice at the end of episode 4 with Jonah? Jonah, where David tries to become the big man once again and kills Jonah. I just felt that was super.
Jonah. So that's how much these choices
are. But the leader.
Yeah, it was the leader of the camp, and he tries to become the big brother or the leader of the camp at Richmond. And honestly, I felt like that could have been.
Wait, wasn't it a chick who was trying to be the leader?
Yeah.
No, she was. I forgot her name.
She was, but basically, David didn't want any part of it. He didn't want to be some part of the deal of sorts. And honestly, if it ended at episode 4. And they might have had some epilogue, some conclusion.
Also, Kate surviving that episode 4 ending was so lame.
Yeah, that too. Where she has an armored vehicle, and she's it begins with her having some heroic moment at the very end, and that's supposed to justify with her being like, "I need to save Richmond."
Did she survive in your guys' game? Because she died in mine.
She survived in mine. She survived in mine.
Well, you're talking about survived in the beginning or at the end?
At the very end.
And no, she died. She lived at the end.
She died. I hated her, so
I got to shoot her because she was a zombie, and I just shot her in the face.
Yeah. But I guess the main focus is how did you think they used Clementine in the New Frontier?
Well, now it's time to talk. How do we like her haircut? Because that's the only significance to come out of this entire $20 product.
Or how they talked about periods and stuff like that, and how awkward that was in the entire.
I guess I'm excited to finally find out about the baby because that's the only thing I cared about. That was the big interest for me, coming to the finale and stuff because I wanted to see the kid again, and then of course that never happens. So I was kind of let down.
And that's all told through flashbacks. It's never told through present day Walking Dead. And I never really bought into her character arc, and I gotta be with this group. I gotta be with Javier.
I'm just glad she didn't kiss Gabe. I saw some people's playthroughs. She kissed Gabe, and that
really.
Look, every decision I'm going to make is to benefit Clementine, and the season didn't really have any decisions that.
So did you cut her hair?
Of course, I cut her hair. Come on now. Come on, that little pixie that she gets at the end.
Yeah. Kind of looks like Ava's haircut.
Well, it's also canonical. Easy. It's also canonical because I thought you said my haircut.
No, Ava's haircut.
I was like, no. it's also interesting because in my season 1, one of the things Lee told her was keep that hair short.
Yeah, same
So
here.
it's cool that, you can cut her hair and do it. But yeah, I agree with both of you guys, and especially Tyler, in a sense that, like, I do think this is a side story. I don't think we hear from these characters again. It's just like, hey, the new frontier exists in the Walking Dead universe.
Man, how funny is that ending though? Like the post credit stinger is, "Hey, we're gonna sell you more stuff with Clementine," and it's stay tuned.
Yeah.
Do you think that's an inherent problem with the Walking Dead brand? Is that they can never find a cure for this whatever disease or the zombie plague because they need to keep this going on forever?
I mean, you'd
Nah.
think eventually they'd kill enough of the zombies to where it's not really much of a problem, right?
It's more of a thing that Tyler said, is that you're on pseudo season 3, but in all honesty, you have Walking Dead 400 Days, Walking Dead season 2, Walking Dead Michonne, Walking Dead New Frontier, and nothing's surprising anymore. Like when they zoom in, like in episode 1, when they zoom in on the little girl, you knew she was done. You knew she was about to die, and it was going to be abrupt because that happened in Michonne too. The dad of the house is telling you this emotional story. They zoom in on him, he gets shot in the head. I'm like, those things are going to happen.
And
like,
when you have to bury her again, they do the bury thing again. It was so much less effective the second time around. Like I genuinely had tears coming down when I had to bury that little kid, the emaciated Walker kid, and that was a really touching scene in the first season. And then they try to do the same thing here, where they're like, you got to perform these motions to be a grave digger, and it just did nothing for me. I was just like, are you serious? Like, this is just really bad taste. It's not even like getting any effect out of me. I'm just kind of grossed out by it.
Yeah, and again, they can work. I'm 2 episodes into Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale, and I'm enjoying my time with that. Obviously a completely different type of IP. But
the real bummer though here is that I reviewed the game on Xbox One. So I'm going to have to rent this damn thing on PS4 and play through a New Frontier again at some point to get that platinum. And that's so
easy.
Sad.
Oh,
so
stop.
sad.
But that being said, also, Melissa Hutchinson was the voice of Nebula in the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series. And it's so weird because she's Clementine and she sounds just like Clementine, but she's Nebula. Which is weird. But yeah, that series has been fun so far. It's just...
Batista?
What?
Did they get Batista?
No, they didn't get Batista, unfortunately. They got a good Chris Pratt sound-alike, though. And again, like I said, that's been a fun series. It's just, I don't know. And it's unfortunate because we said this, earlier in the show, not in this show, but like earlier on these shows, that we really wanted season 3 or the New Frontier to do something different. And I feel like they didn't do it enough. So I guess
I was pretty hopeful for the most of it. Like there were parts that really made me groan, like when Kenny died and when they did the bury sequence again. But I still had hope that they could bring it together with the finale. And then I was just so let down. It's actually interesting to see how the game reviewed, because it's very rare to see a game get reviews that span from glowing 9s to really negative 3 out of 10s.
See, I think
there's literally a review every single number. There's 3s, there's 4s, 5s, 6, 7, 8s, and 9s. So it's kind of crazy. You rarely see such a vast mix of review scores, and I think this is one of the few games that was actually criticized correctly, because I think we should be seeing that with regularity, but we just don't.
I mean, to Telltale's credit, judging by some of our discussion, I still haven't seen the beginning part where Lee dies, or who's the main character in the first part who dies.
The homie, big guy.
Yeah, the big guy.
Duck's father. What's his name?
Yeah, what's his name? Kenny. Yeah, it's not Lee.
Yeah, you got to see the chick die though after she got pregnant or whatever.
But
gotcha.
I think there's enough different choices, enough different paths. Compared to season 2, where I think it was basically there was only 2 different or 3 different paths that you can basically choose from. But I think New Frontier gives at least Telltale a platform to work off of. And what was kind of interesting is that this is Telltale's first game on the new engine on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and on PC. So I think it's been working fine for them.
It looked nice, yeah. The game looked
I
fine.
had one crash, but otherwise it ran fine for me.
And I don't want people to get us wrong. I still found some scenes that I liked in season 3. I don't think like every single moment of season 3 was bad. You know, like for episode 5, for instance, I did like the scene where they were on the roof together because you know the David that was in my game was very much a David that couldn't leave the battlefield behind. So he's like talking about Richmond like it's a battlefield and talking about stuff like that. And I got up on the ledge with him, and I liked that. But then you know the game makes weird choices to circumvent that. Like all of a sudden, the next scene, like he hates me again. So it's just weird stuff like that.
I was really hoping he would just jump from there, like, "Oh, bye, David. I don't need to see you anymore."
Yeah, it's interesting. And again, we should mention that season 1, you know, is always going to be my favorite Walking Dead season of Telltale's game, and it's because it's definitely because it's new. You know, it was like their well, Jurassic Park came before it, but this was definitely their revitalization of the adventure game genre. So that definitely played a factor, but it told a legitimately good story.
So here's a question I have for you guys. Like, we know like choices are their big thing, and I think that still can be used very effectively as long as there's a good story backing it up. But in this season in particular, there was very little sequences that did have like the adventure game roots. Like rarely did we have to solve puzzles or do like even interact with the world. Like this was less than ever before. Do you think they should lean more back into like giving you some meat to, because like Richmond should have been this interesting place like where you could set a story, but because I never got to walk around it, I never got to like explore it any. Like it felt so lifeless to me. So I really do think like they can get more out of these games as long as they get back to like letting you explore a bit.
Yeah, lifeless Richmond with zombies. Yeah, for me, like I never really cared for the old, you know, platformer aesthetic to it with puzzles. I never really cared for that. And I think it probably took away from some of the strongest elements of Telltale games at that moment. But that's just from a personal choice. And I think there's
because like I think of like the hotel in like the first season, and I remember, you know, like walking around those grounds, interacting with the people, even if it's just walking from conversation to conversation. I think it adds something to just like interact in that space instead of it going like dramatic camera cuts as if you were watching like The West Wing or something where they're walking and talking through all these motions.
I could see that definitely being a part that Telltale integrates. That's something I also did love from season 1. I don't remember that being part of season 2 too much. Season 2, there's definitely a lot of changes to that. There's smaller casts, smaller actors, more core focus on Clementine on season 2. Season 1, there's definitely a more core focus on talking to each group, getting their conversation going with the ensemble. But
yeah, like to put it into both of you guys' perspectives, like if you think back to season 1, there's that thing where you need to basically the gate's locked and you have to find a way to essentially get that gate open in the first episode, you know, like by getting like a radio and like these keys, and then you like throw it at a TV to make the noise to distract them. Like that alone, you know, is more of a puzzle than you got in season 3. I mean, literally, I think like the biggest thing there was it was like a garage door that needed to be open, and like the lift just literally right there
goes up,
and then Jimmy's right there, and it's like, hey, you should really Jimmy this garage door open somehow, and I'm like, what? Again,
yeah, and that's not saying like all of their puzzles are always great, because they did have some misses, but like I feel like you need some meat to it, because episodes go by so quickly too. Without any of that, because like, which I guess isn't like a too big of a complaint, because I don't mind like an hour or like a 90-minute episode.
Definitely.
But I've seen other people complain about it. Like that's not my personal beef.
Do you guys think that? Do you guys think releasing the first 2 episodes together helped or hurt the season?
I think I definitely grouped those 2 episodes and just thinking there's just one episode for that reason. I consider this season to be only 4 episodes.
Yeah, I don't know if it hurt or helped any.
It's interesting. And again, Telltale can still do interesting things. Like Guardians of the Galaxy has, you know, a mechanic where you're using your jet boost to basically make you solve puzzles in not 2 dimensions, but like 2 levels of plane. So you'll fly up and you'll have puzzles up here, and then you'll fly down, have puzzle stuff down there. It also has, you press L trigger and you can talk to any one of the other Guardians like through a headset, and like that explores more dialogue and stuff like that. So
you know, a couple months ago, I actually played through Tales from the Borderlands again, which is now free on PlayStation Plus, by the way. If anybody hasn't played it yet, but so while I was replaying it again, like it made me realize that I wasn't really just sick of the Telltale formula, because when it's done really well, I still found it fun, even for a story that I had seen before. Like interacting with that world again.
The scanning mechanic's a good example there. You know, Risha has a scanning mechanic with his eye that adds elements to that story too, which is interesting too. So
I would make the argument with Tales from the Borderlands that no one thought there was any, core part. There's no like core. You could tell a story around, the Borderlands universe that was actually captivating and that was actually interesting.
I think they can still do more stuff with The Walking Dead. Some of the stuff I did like about The Walking Dead, A New Frontier, was early on because, we're so used to Clementine's group, and we know how they refer to the Walkers. So getting to see this Hispanic family, refer to them as Muertos, and getting to see like these different areas of the country affected differently. I think that's one way they could really do well. Like, maybe do something in a different continent. Like, I want to see, like, how do they deal with like the zombies in England? Do the zombies grown with British accents? Who knows? Like, there's so many things to explore here. But like, I'd like to see more cultural differences. Although they're gonna just keep continuing with Clementine's story. I don't know. Maybe she'll like hop in a flight somehow and get into jolly old England.
Oi. But to your point, Tyler, I think that's a really great point, is that I thought it was really smart about bringing up the Hispanics, bringing up like having that integrated into the Walking Dead universe, like, compared to having, the core part of the core that we've had for the first 2 seasons. But like, episode 5 starts with the father talking about the reveal about having cancer, and that's being like the
which
core.
loses all of its impact when you know he's going to die tragically. And
I don't understand why it even started that out. I'm like, his pride is really what's going to kill him, but it's really in the end, it's his cancer, and that becomes the friction. That becomes the first boiling point, the first reason why that calls it the friction between David and Javier. I'm like, no, I don't. I just didn't buy that part at all. And
I wanted to learn more about how to play dominoes.
But yeah, like I think it tries to take these far right turns or far left turns, and it just doesn't earn.
Yeah, I really didn't like when it took those alt-right turns, and there's just Pepe the Frog everywhere. I thought that was really insensitive by Telltale.
We're gonna get there, are we?
Okay, but seriously, so one of the things I really like about Tekken 7 is that there's this gallery mode, and you can buy all of the cutscenes, and they're all pretty cool. I mean, it's cool to see the majority of the cutscenes. I hope if they will continue The Walking Dead. If like Tyler said, mix something up with it, or just let me play as Clementine the whole time and make the choices
I think that's what we're doing next time.
impactful as a Clementine. Don't be scared to keep. I don't want to say don't be scared to kill off the character, because at this point she's their Rick of their franchise.
Kill off AJ, just kill the kid off. Just make it really miserable, so nobody's happy ever again.
So we do this for every Telltale series finale. What are your predictions if they ever do a season 2 or whatever, season 3? For The Walking Dead, what are your predictions for if they actually do a season 3 of The Walking Dead?
I think it's going to focus all on Clementine finding AJ. I think the 5th episode will deal with her getting AJ back, because somehow he's in some terrible situation or something. So,
Walking Dead: New Frontier 2, and it's the continuing story of Javier. No.
So Clementine leaves and they just don't deal with her anymore?
No,
it's just a Mexican party popping out.
I hope that the next season deals with Clementine, has impactful choices that, again, they'll never actually matter. But yeah, just keep us in this character that we already know is interesting.
How far do you think they go in terms of like, do they go 5 years, ahead or
I think it
something like
picks
that?
up like a month later or something, or a week later from
Yeah,
where
I
we
still
were.
think young teen Clementine is a good time to have Clementine. It's either that or they will jump forward and she'll be like in her late teens, early 20s. But I don't think that, because the AJ is a big plot point, and if Tyler mentioned, if they do want to hammer that home and make season 5 sort of like a search season, then if they jump ahead 5 years, it might be a little bit more awkward than if it was just a smaller time gap.
I think like I'm right along with you guys. I think that it will come back sooner or later. I don't know if it's going to be season 3 or New Frontier, but I guess would it be Old Frontier at that point if they come back? but, but
Good joke there.
I still think that if they do have a season 3 of the Walking Dead, it will probably be the last one as Clementine, and hopefully we actually do get to use Clementine. And it will be a callback to Clementine or to the first season of The Walking Dead, ending with us, basically shooting Clementine in the face, similar to how that happened. That's the way I kind of envision that happening, and I don't know if that's going to be the way I would do it, but I see them paying a tribute to the first season, because I think it's been about 5 years since the first season came out. But yeah, I'm looking forward to
That'll leave me more angry than when they killed off my boy Kenny.
Yeah, that's.
I never liked Kenny. I never liked him, but it's up to you.
Excuse me?
I never liked Kenny. I thought he should have died in this first season.
That's upsetting to hear.
So, hey, I left him alone to die in the winter.
He named his son Duck. That deserves your respect, damn it.
He does.
Whatever. We could talk about that one later.
Do we all agree that the greatest moment in Walking Dead history is when you fist bump Duck and he calls you Batman?
Yeah, that's really good.
And then he dies because he's Robin.
Also, I really like.
So he's
really
the Jason Todd of The Walking Dead.
He's always Jason Todd.
I loved the 5th episode of The Walking Dead season 1 too. Loved it. Loved it. From the opening, the cold open where you can or cannot cut off his arm, and then you're climbing the ladder with one arm as the credits roll as you walk up the elevator shaft. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be some good shit. I was like,
when I replayed that game, that was the first time when I was really like, oh wow, these choices really don't matter, because I had cut off my hand. That was like such a big decision for me, and then I realized it's like,
oh
exactly
my god, it was huge for me. It was huge for me because back in the day, it's
so nice when we still believe in these illusions.
It's like, oh my god, it's like, is Kenny gonna save the kid in the alley, or is he gonna go in the dark hole and boost out the girl? I was like, oh my god, but he's gonna die no matter what. And then he fucking flies out of a car window in the worst season of The Walking Dead. Come on.
Well, you talk about season 2?
No, season 2 has at least some interesting moments. Season 3, meh. Okay, yeah. So Walking Dead, meh.
Yeah. I think it's a decent season, but not. I think if you keep your expectations in check.
Yeah, play Guardians. Play Guardians. It's better.
All right. I think Tales from the Borderlands is probably still up there. I think it's probably my favorite Telltale season.
The holy trinity for me are that, Wolf Among Us, and Telltale season 1. Walking Dead season 1 are my 3 favorites. Actually, Jurassic Park is my favorite series.
I've actually never played the Jurassic Park game.
It's a quick time event. Literally every other thing you do. But it's like the repeatedly tap X or A.
So it's like Azura's Wrath.
But you're a Jurassic Park fan, right?
You know what? Just to piggyback off that, I recently played the Lego Jurassic World game, and that was a surprisingly solid Lego game. That was like well made compared to some of the other Lego games.
Yeah, I didn't like Jurassic World, but I like Jurassic Park, the first one at least, 2 and 3. And, yeah.
Okay.
You don't like that. I haven't seen the film, but you don't like the white T-Rex genetically made thing.
That's like the plot for every Jurassic Park. We got genetically modified dinosaur that's going wild, or we're selling it to
we made a T-Rex more dangerous. Nothing wrong can happen here.
Yeah. Anyways, E3 is on Saturday, or starts on Saturday. Today is Thursday.
Yeah, Andrew's going to be there. We're really excited.
He is, right, Andrew?
Possibly.
Right with your
My
snap.
dude, come on. When else are we going to meet up, Andrew? Come on.
Live recording of the Point Taken podcast.
You're gonna be there with your Snapchat. You're gonna be your media influencer.
Yeah, you can Snapchat me on the show floor.
You're gonna be Jim Harbaugh on be there in 50 places at once. But I'm just kidding. I will probably say that like we probably won't record next week because we will probably be going from appointment to appointments. Well, we probably will be there. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
E3, get excited, everybody! E3
with our thoughts from E3. We will have tons of preview coverage, tons of news coverage from the event. In the meantime, we just won't have enough time, not enough bandwidth to actually, do a podcast during E3 week.
I don't know. Maybe if you guys are staying at the B&B together, you guys can do something.
If that works out.
Victory point.
Hey,
point taken after.
We're coming live from you from this 8-person hostel. Alex, how are you doing today? Hey, can you keep it down out there? We're trying to talk about video games, damn it!
No, you'll just Snapchat the podcast out in 10-second clips.
10-second clips.
And I had to put it together.
Yeah, I'm excited. Even if I go or if I don't go, I'm excited for E3. I'm excited.
You're going. Come on, commit to it.
I'll think about it.
It's time to live a little, man.
When are you getting in, Tyler?
I get there Monday, and I expect to see you, Andrew. You better show up.
Too big for me.
When else are we gonna get to see each other?
I'll have to talk to your voice from Arizona. No, I'll talk.
You gotta go, man. Sleep. There's nothing wrong with sleeping on the floor. I'll sleep on the floor. I will be with you in like solidarity, my brother.
Do you have? Are you staying at an Airbnb, Tyler? Or
no, I'm staying at a hotel. I might be sleeping on the floor though. I don't know how many people they have in that hotel booked.
Fuck.
I actually have like nothing. I know nothing about my planning there. I don't even know if somebody's picking me up at the airport or not, or if I have to take an Uber or something. But
LAX doesn't allow Uber or
taxi
pickups.
But I will say this, Andrew. Just you better be there. You're gonna get the beat down.
But I think that's. Go ahead.
Oh, you're fine. I was just looking at the Uber thing at LAX.
Yep, that is true for SFO, I believe, also. But that's more BS about that.
I saw a dude get arrested at LAX.
They are
like 2 times away.
They are really strict about that. My Airbnb told me to take a bus to the first bus stop, and then take a left to Uber to the Airbnb. I'm like, this seems incredibly inefficient, but that sounds like LA at the same time, because who the hell goes to LAX and likes it?
Agreed.
All right, let's plug our Twitters so we can tweet out our pictures of when we're hanging out with Andrew this weekend.
Oh my god. Hey, it's at AceVisito426.
Tyler.
Yeah,
follow me on Twitter at Tyler Trees. I'm going to be sending a picture a day of Andrew Tuesday through Thursday.
You can follow me on Twitter at AlMartinA. Once again, this is the 50th episode for the Point Taken podcast.
What an episode!
Thank you for all the support. If you're on iTunes, please give us a review. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Until not next week, but 2 weeks from now, after we get back from LA and E3 madness.
Wait! Can we get some professional news from a media influencer about if people should like and subscribe?
No, he's had his moment. I'm not gonna give Jim Spotlight Hardball a chance again. But until next week.
Smash the like button, smash it,
until 2 weeks from now.
Smash that like
Thanks
button.
for all the support. Bye bye.